What's happening, guys? It's the Miami Football Fanatic here again, and in today's video I want to talk about the Dolphins options in the 2019 draft, our 13th overall selection. Just going to be going over our options in the first round. Going to be going from quarterback all the way through the safety. Just going to be going through the list of guys that could potentially be there at 13, and yeah, just going to give my opinion on the players and yeah, just lay out the prospects for you guys. So starting here at quarterback, obviously at the top of the list is Dwayne Haskins, quarterback from Ohio State. Right now, he's on top of many people's big boards in terms of, you know, positional rankings. Dwayne Haskins, he's number one at the moment, and I'd love him on the Dolphins. He's got a terrific arm, great accuracy, and he's a great kid, and he's also got great football intelligence. Next on the list that the Dolphins could potentially draft is Drew Lock, which I think is highly unlikely, but he's another choice for us. I think that he definitely could go in the top 10, especially to the Broncos. There's been that report out there that John Elway loves Drew Lock, but it could be a smokescreen, but, you know, who knows. But Drew Lock could be another option for us. He's a big-armed quarterback. His arm kind of reminds me of Patrick Mahomes, but make no mistake, he's no Mahomes. But that's kind of what he reminds me of. Especially when he pulled off that sidearm throw in the Senior Bowl. Obviously, that reminds you a lot of what Mahomes can do. But Drew Lock, if we wanted to get a quarterback, would be another option. The next guy is Kyler Murray. He probably should be my second-ranked guy, but Kyler Murray, especially now that he's come out now on Twitter and said that he's fully committed to football. He's going to be putting 100% of his time and his efforts into being the best quarterback he can be. It's just tremendous to hear, and I really would love him as the quarterback of the Dolphins. Just an absolutely dynamic quarterback. He's got an incredibly strong arm for a guy his size, and, you know, that just speaks to his extensive baseball background. He's got a great strong arm for a guy his size, you know, similar to Russell Wilson, and he's just an incredible athlete. He is going to, if he runs at the combine, he is going to run sub 4.4. He'll run in the 4.3s. That's how quick he is. He's just an incredible athlete and just would be an absolutely dynamic quarterback for the Dolphins. And I really think he's going to rock the league wherever he goes in the draft. Another option here, a guy that I'm not really high on, is Daniel Jones, a guy that I really hope the Dolphins won't take at 13, and I'm sure they won't. I mean, he's incredibly similar to Ryan Tannehill. But Daniel Jones is another guy who's going to be taken, I don't know, he's going to be taken in the first round, but wherever he goes, I hope it isn't to the Dolphins. Okay, so moving on to running back. The only guy that I see going in the first round is Josh Jacobs from Alabama, and just watching his tape, you can see why. He's just an incredible athlete, just an incredible running back. He's got incredible burst, acceleration, like he's got great play strength, and he's an awesome receiver as a running back as well. But he's got great vision. He's just got the full package as a running back, and I think that he'll be a tremendous running back in the NFL. But I really don't see the Dolphins taking him at 13 with us already having Kenyon Drake and Kalen Ballage in the running back room. Alrighty, so on to wide receiver. I think there's maybe only 3 to 4 guys that can go in the first round. DK Metcalf, N'Keal Harry, Calvin Harmon, and Marquise Brown. AJ Brown could maybe sneak in at the top of the first round, but those are the four guys there. DK Metcalf, if you guys haven't seen the picture that came out of him today, you know, it was a picture of him in the gym and a bunch of other guys, about 10 dudes, just, you know, probably, you know, after a workout. But that guy, he's an absolute specimen. He is just built like a freaking, like a brick shithouse. It's really incredible. Like DK Metcalf, he's definitely is 230 pounds. He is an absolute beast, and he's going to kill it at the combine. But for the Dolphins at 13, I really don't see us taking a wide receiver, especially with us rebuilding. We really have to get an edge rusher or a defensive lineman or a cornerback or a guard this early in the draft. Really don't see the Dolphins taking DK Metcalf. N'Keal Harry is a similar specimen. He's about 6'3", 6'4", but he's not doesn't have the same body type as DK Metcalf, but they can both just pull off incredible catches. They've got incredible athleticism for guys their size, and just got tremendous hands. N'Keal Harry, I really don't see the Dolphins taking him at 13, so that really is an option for us there. Calvin Harmon if he was available in the second round for us, I would really want to snatch him up. He is an incredibly talented receiver. He's strong. He's quick. He runs great routes. He's got tremendous hands. He's just a talented receiver that I'd really love to have on the Dolphins. The next guy is Marquise Brown from Oklahoma, Hollywood Brown, the cousin of Antonio Brown. Marquise. Bucky Brooks did mock Hollywood to us at number 13 of his, in his first mock draft, but I really don't see us taking him at 13. So maybe if he was available in the second round, we'd take a shot on him. But Marquise Brown definitely won't be in play for us at 13. So another option possibly is AJ Brown, but he's definitely going to go in the high first to early to mid second round. So AJ Brown definitely won't be there. Moving on to tight end, Noah Fant obviously is at the top of this list, but TJ Hockenson, his teammate at Iowa, is quickly, quickly behind him, trying to take that tight end one spot. But Noah Fant, he's an incredible athlete. He's more like a slot receiver. He really is a lot like Evan Ingram. I think he's going to run a similar 40 to he's a clone of Evan Ingram. They're a similar size and just a similar play style. TJ Hockenson. At number 13, I really don't see us taking a tight end. So on to TJ Hockenson. The thing that's working in his favor is that he's a great blocker as well as a talented receiver. So he could very well surpass Noah Fant as the top tight end in this draft. But at 13, the Dolphins definitely aren't going to take TJ Hockenson. And the third currently ranked tight end is Irv Smith, but he's more of a second round pick or a late first round pick. The Dolphins definitely won't be taking Irv Smith, tight end out of Alabama, at 13. So onto the offensive line. Obviously, the number one guy here for O-line is Jonah Williams, the tackle from Alabama. A lot of draft experts and that are saying that he can play guard or center. So I'd really love to take him. If he was there at 13, I'd want to take him because we really have to shore up this offensive line. And could you just imagine Jonah Williams between Laramie Tunsil and Juwan James if we re-sign Juwan James? But I really think that would be a formidable line if we filled out a center and maybe re-signed Jesse Davis or picked up a solid guard in free agency or later on in the draft, like the third or fourth round. But Jonah Williams, I'd love him. He's just an absolute beast of an offensive lineman, and he's technically sound, and I don't think he gave up any sacks at Alabama this year, so he'd be tremendous. Another guy the Dolphins could potentially take is Yodny Cajuste if we wanted to replace Juwan James. Yodny Cajuste out of West Virginia. He probably is the best athlete at offensive tackle in this draft. He's just got tremendously quick feet. He's very similar to Laramie Tunsil, and I think that he'd be a tremendous right tackle. So Yodny Cajuste, he probably is going to go after 13th overall, but could be possibly an option. Another option is Cody Ford out of Oklahoma. He's a guy that offers great versatility. He's been projected as a guard and a tackle out of Oklahoma, but I really love him on this offensive line. But similar to Cajuste, I really see him going after 13. Another first-round offensive tackle option is Jawan Taylor from Florida. This guy is an absolute unit of a offensive tackle. He's 6'5", 230 plus pounds, but he's got the athleticism to match. I haven't watched much of his tape. Similar to Cody Ford and Cajuste, I haven't seen much of them as of yet. Jonah Williams, I've seen a bit of his tape, but from what I'm hearing, all those guys are tremendously talented and are gonna be impact offensive linemen in the league. So back to Jawan Taylor. He's probably going to go after 13th, and we really can pick up a better quality blue chip player than Jawan Taylor in the first round. And I've got two other guys here. Greg Little out of Mississippi State. I'm not sure if he was teammates with Laramie Tunsil when Tunsil was at Ole Miss, but Greg Little out of Ole Miss. He's not from Mississippi State, but Greg Little, he's kind of a similar tackle to Tunsil, great athlete, but really don't see us taking him at 13. And the last guy on the list here, a lot of experts and people around the league and on Twitter and whatever have been saying that Andre Dillard, the offensive tackle out of Washington State, is the best offensive tackle in this draft. And from what I've seen, he looks tremendously talented, and he could possibly be an option for us, to replace Jawan James, maybe even in the second round if we, trade back and get some more picks. But Andre Dillard, really don't see him as an option at 13. So that's it for the offensive tackles. Let's move on to guard. Possibly the only guy that I can see here going in the first round, and this is a stretch, he really probably is a second rounder, is Michael Dida from Wisconsin. Big physical mauling guard, similar to his tackle Bo Benchwall from Wisconsin too. They're both huge offensive linemen that are tremendously talented, but Michael Dida really will not be in play for us at pick 13, but wanted to include one guard that could possibly be in play in the first round, but he really won't be in play for the Dolphins at pick 13. So moving on to center, really is two potential guys here. Dalton Reisner, I really think from Kansas State, I really think he's going to be a first round pick with his versatility and just his maturity. I think he played like 4 or 5 years in college. He's going to be incredibly polished when he comes into the league, but he's got great versatility as well. He can play center, he can play guard, or he can play right tackle. He's got tremendous versatility, and I'd love to have a guy like him on the Dolphins, especially with us having a glaring need at center and guard, and with him potentially playing right tackle, he'd be perfect for us because he could fill any spot that he'd be best at. And he really could be in play for the Dolphins at pick 13, but I really see him going in the second half of the first round. Another guy is Garrett Bradbury from NC State, North Carolina State. I really think he's more of an early second round pick, so he won't be in play for the Dolphins at pick 13. Alrighty, so on to one of our biggest needs, D-line, defensive tackle, inside defensive lineman. And at the top of the list here is Quinnen Williams from Alabama, but he obviously isn't going to be there for us at pick 13. But he would be incredible for this defense, especially with us moving to a hybrid front. I really think that Quinnen Williams, he could play he could play all along the defensive line. He could play a number of roles, in a hybrid front, but he obviously won't be there at pick 13, so let's move on. Ed Oliver is a guy who could potentially be there at pick 13. He really is being mocked as not a top 5 pick now. He's going more in the, close to the 10 range to 13. So if he's there for us, we really have to take him. I really don't care about people have been saying he's kind of got sloppy technique and he kind of loses balance way too often and falls down to the ground and can, lose sight of the quarterback or the ball carrier. But he's a supreme athlete. I really think that he can be the second coming of Aaron Donald. Maybe, if not Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald could very well be the best defensive tackle in the history of the league. I mean, he had 20 sacks this past season. But Ed Oliver, if he's there at 13, we'd have to snatch him up. Another guy is Christian Wilkins from Clemson. I really thought he was going to come out last year, but he's a guy who's incredibly versatile, like Quinnen Williams. Kind of a similar player, not quite as explosive as Quinnen Williams, but he is a great athlete in his own right. Christian Wilkins would be an awesome pick for us at 13, but excuse me, I really don't see the Dolphins taking him there. Jerry Tillery, the huge defensive tackle from Notre Dame. He's like 6'5", 340 or something, 330. And PFF had him graded as the best pass rusher as a defensive tackle. And watching his tape, you really can see why. He's got tremendous moves. He really uses his length well to get into the body of guards and just not allow them to get their hands on him at all. And if we moved back somewhere in the first round, Jerry Tillery could very well be an option depending on how the board falls. Jeffery Simmons is another guy. He very well could be the second best defensive tackle in this draft behind Quinnen Williams, but with these past domestic violence charge in high school when he apparently hit a woman and pushed her or something like that. But Jeffery Simmons, just depending on how well his pass sits with you, he really could be in play for us at 13 because he reminds me a lot of Chris Jones from Kansas City that the Chiefs took a couple of years ago, and they both played for Mississippi State, so he's a similar athlete and a guy that I really think can really make an impact as an inside rusher in the league. The next guy is Draymond Jones from Ohio State. Early in the process, I was incredibly high on him, but now I really don't see him being in play for us at pick 13. I think he's going to go a lot later than 13, somewhere maybe in the 20s. But he's an incredible athlete. I could see him running a sub 4.6 at the combine and weighing, I think he's about 280 pounds, but just watching some of his tape, man, he can run around like a quick linebacker. It really is incredible to see a guy his size run around like that. And with that kind of athletic ability, it really would be perfect for our potential hybrid 3-4, 4-3 front. So Draymond Jones could be another option. Dexter Lawrence is an honorable option. As another defensive tackle we could potentially take, but I really do see him going in a later on, mid to first or early second round. So that's it there for the defensive tackles. On to defensive end, or potentially could be 3-4 outside linebacker, depending on what we're going to run this year. But obviously at the top of the list is Nick Bosa. Man, he's a surefire blue chip talent. He's going to be an incredible edge rusher in the league and a guy that definitely is going to be for us at number 13. He's potentially going to go first, possibly second in the draft, so that's not an option there. Josh Allen is another guy who's going to go incredibly early in the draft, so the Dolphins will not get a sniff of him at all. Rashawn Gary, another guy who's going to go top 5, so no point speculating here. Cleveland Ferrell, a guy that I really can see us taking at pick 13. It could potentially fall out at top 10. I really love him as a defensive end. He's got great play strength. He's a prototypical 4-3 defensive end. He does a great job against the run. He's got a quick get off. I really like Cleveland Ferrell. Could be a nice option for us, the Clemson defensive end. Ja'Kai Polite, he reminds me a lot of Takaris McKinley that the Hawks took a couple of years ago. He's got similar size, 6'2", 250 or 245 where they are, but he plays incredibly similar. Even though they are kind of small defensive ends, they got incredible play strength. And Ja'Kai Polite, he plays a great physicality. He had great production this past year for Florida, and I'm not really high on him, but the Dolphins could potentially take him there at 13. Montez Sweat. Besides the top 3 guys, Bosa, Allen, and Gary, Montez Sweat is my next guy. And if he was there at 13, the Dolphins would have to snatch him up. He is an absolute clone of Danielle Hunter, the defensive end who plays for the Vikings. They're both 6'6", around the same size. But if you saw Montez Sweat play at the Senior Bowl, he was just blowing up offensive linemen left, right, and center. He was just a guy his size, and he definitely has put on some weight. He's like I think he's 6'6". Yeah, he's 6'6", 255 pounds. He definitely put on some weight since the conclusion of the season. But Montez Sweat, he's an absolute beast, man. He's got great speed off the ball and just incredible strength, man. He was putting offensive tackles on their ass at the Senior Bowl, and he would be just a perfect launching point for our rebuild. As one of our foundation pieces of our defense moving forward. Brian Burns, he is a bit of a slight defensive end, but he could be in play for us, but I'm not really high on him. But there's another option for the Dolphins there at pick 13, Brian Burns. Chase Winovich, he's definitely going to go in the second round or late first round, but he's got some injury concerns. But I think I'll be talking about Chase Winovich as an option for the Dolphins in the second round of the draft. That will be another video. Okay, so on to linebacker. There's only 2 guys here that I see going in the first round, and that's Devin White and Devin Bush. Devin White is a surefire blue chip player. He is just he reminds me of a Deion Jones and like Patrick Willis clone. He's just an absolute scud missile out there on the field, and he's just absolutely just like built like to the nines. He's like 245, 250 pounds. He's going to make an immediate impact in the league. The LSU linebacker, Devin Bush, he's going to be, shorter than 6 foot at the combine, but he is a guy that is just incredibly fast on the field. He's got, because of his size, he's got tremendous leverage and strength. I see he's listed at like 5'11", 240, and I really think that's probably what he's going to weigh in at the combine. But yeah, he really does use that size tremendously well. He takes on blocks well, and when his tackling is just absolutely textbook, and he's just, being his size and 240, potentially 240 plus pounds, the way he wraps up ball carriers is just great to see, and just his play strength, just the way he grabs guys and throws them around is just tremendous. And I'd really love him on the team, but you're probably not going to take him at 13. On to cornerback. Byron Murphy really is going to play him. He's going to be in play for us at pick 13. He's a incredibly talented cornerback. He's scheme versatile. He does a great job playing off or playing man, and he'd be a great cornerback opposite Xavier Howard if we do keep Xavier Howard. Greedy Williams is another option. The great talented corner from LSU. He's 6'3". He's a bit slight, and he kind of does that small frame does show up on tape. He really doesn't play with great physicality at times, but he's a tremendous athlete. He's got great ball skills. I think he had like 6 or 7 interceptions last year for LSU. So obviously he does a great job tracking the ball. He really didn't play as well this year, but Greedy Williams definitely is in play for us at pick 13. Deandre Baker, one of my favorites here at cornerback, played for Georgia. He's not the same athlete that Byron Murphy and Greedy Williams are, but he's close behind those two. But he all round is a great corner. He's got tremendous speed and play strength and physicality. He does a great job, similar to Xavier Howard. Wrapping up his man and bringing them down. So DeAndre Baker definitely is in play for us at 13. On to safety. I really don't see. I mean, Nasir Adderley could go in the first round, and Deontay Thompson, but they're probably not going to be in play for us. And with us, we're going to have 3 safeties this season with Minka Fitzpatrick and Rashad Jones and TJ McDonald. If we don't, trade, Rashad Jones, we'll have 3 safeties. But who knows? These guys could be possibly in play for us in the second round if Brian Flores and his staff wants the kind of safety that they think will fit best to their scheme to complement Minka. Alrighty, so that's it for all the Dolphins' possible options with the 13th pick. They went way longer than expected. That's over 20 minutes now, but this draft is a strong draft. At first, it was saying, "Oh, this is a weak, boring draft. It's a defensive lineman heavy draft." But there are, as you can see here, there are a lot of guys in play for us in the first round, and potentially, moving forward with this draft process, with the combine and pro days, and just leading up to the draft, there's a lot of guys here who could move up the boards and possibly be an option for us at pick 13. So, as you guys surely will, like I will be, you'll be closely watching these guys, checking out for news, and you'll be checking social media and that, checking the status of these guys moving forward towards the draft. But yeah, a lot of options for us here, and at pick 13, we definitely are going to be able to get a blue chip player and a guy that's going to help us move forward with this rebuild. Okay, so that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and make sure to leave some feedback in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on my analysis of these players. And as always, fins up, baby. I'll see you guys in the next video.